Okay, I'm always ready before you say, are you ready? And then as soon as you say, are you ready? I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah, I know. And then you say something funny before we start recording. Like she was like, sweet nipples, we're on our way.
You guys, I just had the best fucking burp I've ever had in my entire life. And that bitch over there was not recording yet, which I knew. It's not like she was supposed to be recording and missed it. I just burped prematurely.
Yes, exactly. I told her we were doing a test. I didn't record it. How is everyone?
I'm great, since I'm the only one here that you're asking.
No, I'm asking our listeners who you sometimes, I feel like you forget that they're there.
Don't say that.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, you know what I realized today? Sarah and I were talking this morning. She was talking about someone from like long ago in her like young life. And she was like, yeah, you know, this girl it was like in elementary school. And she was like telling me this story. And she goes, she just wasn't very nice to me. And I was like, I hate that bitch. And then I texted Sarah back and I go, I said, my favorite thing about friendship is that I automatically hate someone because you told me they were mean to you once. Like that's all it takes is especially a girlfriend being like, she was a bitch. I'm like, yeah, fuck her. She sucks.
I hate her. No, Evan, but right after you did that, Evan did the same thing. So I was telling the same story to Evan. And then he was like, wait, do we like this person? I was like, no, we don't like this person. He's like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's the best thing is like, that's all it takes is you be like, yeah, I don't like her. I'm like, me neither. I also don't like her. Never met her. Probably never will, but don't fucking like her or
don't
him.
Like her. Why is he or she so mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so mean. We're not bullies. You guys agree, don't you?
You heard our bullying episode.
Yeah, you know that that's not who we are. So
fuck, I just realized we did just sound like bullies.
Yeah.
You know.
It is what it is, and we're not.
Nothing brings people together like hatred of, like equal hatred of another person.
And not even a person, hatred of a thing.
A thing. Oh my God.
When people don't like cucumbers, I'm like, yo, let's be friends. Even though I like them now, but.
I'm one of those people who was born with the cilantro tastes like soap gene.
Yeah. I saw a meme, and it was like, I don't know why this meme was this, but it had a picture of what the coronavirus looks like as like a little microbe or whatever it is. Or I guess a virus. It's in the name. But it showed it wearing a pair of pants. And it was like, would coronavirus wear it like this? And it had one pair of pants. Or it was like, or would it wear it like this? And like all of its jagged edges each had its own pair of pants. So it was wearing like 100 pairs of pants. I wish I hadn't started that story.
I'm kind of just looking at her like a dick. Like, why the fuck did you tell this story?
I really regret that, but
as
alas,
you should.
It's out there. I didn't make the meme.
No regrets. No regrets.
No regrets, man.
My next tattoo. Yeah. No regrets.
So how was your week, everyone listening? Did you like our last episode?
I did. I listened to it. It was really funny.
Yeah, our March 4th cases.
Oh, I listened to the one before that.
Yeah, I know. Our March 4th cases and nostalgic dysentery. So let's talk about our theme today. Let's talk about our beer. Let's talk about all those things.
Okay, I will introduce the theme.
Okay.
Sarah, I'm just making all the decisions now. Sarah's going first because she hasn't in a hot minute, so I'll let her handle the beer.
Okay.
But our theme today was inspired by our upcoming trip. Our theme today is Ireland. Simply Ireland.
Singing drunken lullabies.
What?
Flogging Molly? Are they Irish or Scottish? Sorry.
Does it matter?
Whoa. We started a war. The War of 2020.
Prohibition. Oh, okay. Speaking of prohibition, this is how my brain works. Because I got you that shirt from Chelsea from Crackers and Milk that said on the back, blah, blah, blah. She posted a new shirt today.
Oh, yes.
And it said, let's talk about cults, baby. I want that on a sweater.
Do you?
I'm telling everyone.
She's telling everyone and making eye contact with me. Then she looked at my wallet. And then she grabbed my bank card. She didn't do those things.
Really, I'm just throwing it out there. So when my birthday rolls around, Sarah and Chelsea can scheme and get me a sweater that says, let's talk about cults,
we know what she wants. She wants to talk about cults.
Baby. What's our beer, Sarah?
Our beer is from Ireland. Ooh, did that sound Irish?
Yes.
From Ireland. From Ireland. I'm going to open it for you. We have Smithwick's and Sons Ireland Red Ale. It's a ruby red brew with a gentle hop bitterness and a sweet malt finish. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
So it's a red ale. It's 4.5% ABV. Welcome to the UK, am I right?
Top of the morning to you, laddie. Sarah's half drunk or on some drug.
The drug of the Irish.
Definitely.
Okay. I'm half Irish. Did you know?
The more you know.
Can you please tell the listeners what our faces are every time the bottle goes goo, 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 goo?
We stare at each other with like giant, like Snow White bugged out eyes, eye contact, and we're so excited.
I'm going to say it. I usually say it in French. I'm going to say it in Irish. Slancha.
Oh, I do. Okay, before I describe this, I do feel like we should have drank it warm because I've heard that you people in Ireland serve your beer warm.
Okay, you've already yelled at them for that and demanded an explanation so in a previous episode.
Well, this is really good. It tastes.
I like it a lot, actually.
It tastes like winter spices, like nutmeg. The other ones.
Nutmeg and the other ones. That's my new Christmas album.
Fuck you, Stephanie. Every time I laugh, I just think of Stephanie.
That's
and her
sad.
mean review about how my laugh hurt her ears. And the exact words, good Lord, my ears.
Oh. I like the spirit, but it has no finish. It just disappears.
I do agree with that. It is very spicy, like like nutmeg and the other ones. But yeah, then it's just gone. But it kind of dries out my tongue a little bit, actually.
Yeah. Can somebody invent a mouth wettener?
I did. It's water.
I did. It's saliva. This is pretty good. I'm so excited for my case.
Let's, before we go, let's shout out our new patrons.
Yes.
And I have a special shout out to my friend David, who just informed me today that he listens. And I was like, what? I had no idea. So shout out to David. Thanks for listening.
David, we're so happy to hear that you hear all we have to say.
I apologize for Sarah. Just kidding. Never. I never apologize for her.
But we also have to give shout outs to a couple new Patreon members. We are so excited that you're here. That would be Debbie and Katie.
Debbie and Katie, welcome to the family.
That's so Debbie. It's the Katie I can see. That's so. I'm like, doing That's So Raven. Sense. That's So Raven, but with Debbie and Katie's names.
Okay, just start your story.
Okay. Again, today's theme is pretend that never happened.
In all honesty, I have no fucking clue why you guys listen.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I think we're hilarious and amazing, but I'm going to stop now.
Oh my God. Well, you didn't even answer the question why nobody listens. You just gave them more reasons not to listen.
Or more to listen.
That's true.
Also, I apologize. In the last episode, I could not shut the fuck up and stop interrupting Sarah. So today I'm going to try to be more quiet.
Do you mean the last episode or this episode?
Okay. Buckling in, shutting up.
Oh, you got a new buckle. I got shushed, so
I was shushing myself.
Oh. Okay, so I'm telling you the story of Bridget Cleary. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
All right, my sources.
Where's she from?
Ireland. My sources are Wikipedia, an article by Marie Perez Cuervo for Mental Floss, Library Ireland, Natasha Sheldon for the History Collection, and an article by Dean Ruxton for the Irish Times. Really legitimate sources. All right, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
In March of 1895.
Taking us back. Sorry. Shutting up now. I lasted long. Okay, Sarah just winked at me, but like in a disgusting, creepy way that if a man did that to me on the sidewalk, I would call the police.
So 26-year-old Bridget Cleary was murdered in 1895 by her husband in gruesome fashion for being a fairy.
What?
I'm gonna break that down a little bit for you.
Okay.
In the next half hour.
Oh, that's not the whole story? Good. Thank God.
Trigger warning. Sarah's inaccurate pronunciation of Irish names is our first trigger warning. The second is domestic assault. And the third is force feeding, which is unpredictable and it's not funny. But Bridget.
Force eating other people?
Yeah, he force feeds her.
Other people?
Yeah, well, her. Bridget, yeah.
No, but you said force feeding other people.
Yeah. If you got force fed, I feel like that'd be traumatizing.
No, but I pictured like a cannibal making, or like someone making someone be a cannibal.
They just pick up someone. They're like, eat your friends.
That's what I pictured.
No,
Sorry.
That is not what happened in this case.
Good.
So Bridget Cleary was born Bridget Noland, and she was born in Tipperary, Ireland in 1869. So County Tipperary is in the middle lower half of Ireland in the Midland area. And she was born in and grew up in an extremely small village called, and again, I gave a warning about the pronunciations, correct me all you want, in Saliva. At the time, this town literally had 7 houses, so that was like 25 residents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bridget grew up fairly poor. Her dad, Patrick, was a farm laborer. They didn't own a farm. He worked on someone else's farm. And Bridget's mom, who's was also named Bridget, wanted a better life for Bridget, her daughter. So they sent her to a
Not
Catholic...
Bridget herself.
I mean, she probably did want a better life for herself, but...
Bridget mom wanted better life for Bridget daughter. Got it.
Yes. And so she sent Bridget daughter to Catholic boarding school to be educated by the nuns, because that was like a pretty good option to have a better life. So after her education, she started an apprenticeship 11 miles away with a dressmaker. And it paid super well, which Bridget enjoyed because she liked fashion. So she could wear the latest fashions, which only made her more popular in the community, considering she was already just naturally like super beautiful. Caitlin brought up a really interesting point last time that all people from the olden times were hideous. Bridget isn't one of those people.
Today's theme is Caitlin is an asshole. Brought to you by Sarah.
I mean, true. Sorry. Not sure about the asshole. It's true. It was brought to you by me.
Well, people were ugly back then. Prove me wrong.
You in that meme at that table, you know, the guy who's sitting at the table and you put like the text on the word. It's a meme. And then it's like, this, prove me wrong. Or it says something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I can't do it today.
Yes. Yes.
Change my mind. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes. Change my mind.
In August in 1887, Bridget met a man named Mike Cleary. And he was a cooper. So a cooper is somebody, if you don't know, who makes like the barrels that like whiskey gets aged in and wine gets aged in and stuff. Even though Bridget was only 18, she and Michael got married very quickly. That wasn't unnormal for this time. So for the initial part of their marriage, Bridget actually moved from Clormel, which was where she was staying when she met Michael.
Does this rag smell like Clormel to you?
I think it's actually Clonmel. So... Sorry, guys. Clonmel. It's a larger city even today. But she decided to move back in with her parents in Ballyvido. Michael stayed the 11 miles away and continued to work as a cooper in Clonmel. So in her home village, Bridget got a flock of chickens and she began an egg selling business, which was actually unusual for women of the time. So people were like, yo, this lady's like really fashionable and she's selling eggs. It's really weird. And she also owned a rare state-of-the-art Singer sewing machine. So, like, nobody had these sewing machines then. So it was, like, amazing that she had one. Everyone was, like, super impressed. She worked as a dressmaker independently and then also a hat maker from her home and then also sold eggs. So Michael and Bridget only lived apart for a little while. And then they lived together in Clonmel. She moved back over there for some reason. And Bridget was stunning. She was intelligent. She was skilled. She spent her money wisely. She invested in her trade with the occasional luxury purchase, like a pair of beloved gold earrings that everyone talks about. A few years into their marriage, Bridget's mom passed away. And Patrick, her dad, was elderly and he moved in with them. And because Patrick had been a laborer most of his life, there were special perks in retirement for him in this time in this area of Ireland. So what that meant is there were really nice houses that you could only secure if you were a laborer. So if you were like retiring as a laborer, you got to live in a fancy house when you retired.
Interesting.
Right? And so because they were living with him, they got the best house in the village, even though technically Patrick owned it. However, the house had one little issue. It was built on an old, well-known fairy ring fort. So fairy forts are archaeological ruins or sites where ancient peoples built like these earthen mounds and circular kind of structures, and these structures were known to have supernatural characteristics. I imagine kind of like, even though these are natural and pop up on their own, like a ring of mushrooms or something that you see outside, like it's supposed to be like fairies live there. Like it's one of those kinds of things. That house was built on an old fairy ring fort, so it was supposedly kind of haunted. So this area of Ireland at the time had a ton of fairy belief. Like that was not unnormal. And often families would leave things out for the magical little people, they call them, or the good people. And the belief was particularly rampant in rural areas, which is where they lived. So Bridget was fascinated by fairies. Like she loved the idea of them. She loved to leave things for them. She believed in them.